Welcome everyone to Digital Learning Day. This is the voice of Julie Wainio. I'm one of the technical assistants here at Parkview High School. I'm in Computer Lab 207, so if you ever have any questions about this program or any of the other things we've done today at Digital Learning Day, please feel free to come find me. Mary Hummer in 2109 would also be happy to answer any questions that you might have. First and foremost, I am using Camtasia to record this session, so if you see me pull up the ticker here or hit pause or something, please just disregard that. That's me controlling the recording as we go along. Also, I will say that this is the first time I have done any kind of recording such as this, so please excuse all that ums and hems and haws as I'm getting used to the recording process. As you can see, I do have a habit of moving the mouse around while I'm talking. I'm going to try and keep that to a minimum, but please excuse that in advance. Okay, so this is actually the MindView session that we're going to be doing right now. So the first thing we need to do is we are going to open up MindView. By doing that, we are going to go down to the Start button, All Programs, Productivity, and MindView. And MindView will pop up. MindView is a great tool for mapping thoughts or mapping ideas. It is a very underutilized tool at this school. We have it, it's beautiful, and I'm going to show you how to use it from this point. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click New Document, New Map, and I'm going to go ahead and click Mind Map. Top down I find works best for timelines, or like for example in science, if you're doing the food web, so you'd have humans at the top, and then below that you'd have cows, and then below that you'd have grass, and then bugs, and then bacteria, or however you want to do that. To the left would be if you were doing like a sports bracket. To the left or to the right would be if you're doing a sports bracket. That'd be great for making March Madness brackets, or if you were doing a tournament, something along those lines. Timelines are great for history, and mind maps I find are wonderful for English. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the process step by step on how to do these items, and then I also have a whole bunch of examples for different disciplines, such as I have one for math, I have one for science, social studies, etc. So you can see how a finished project might look, and you might be able to utilize that in your own classroom or in your own studies if you're a student and you want to do a different kind of neat project. So I'm going to click on Mind Map, and as you can see, this beautiful window opens. And as I tell students in my lab, the first most important thing is to get all your information down, and then you can play with how it looks, the format, that kind of thing. Okay, so in my subject here, I'm going to pick a random subject. I'm just going to make this up as I go along. I'm going to pick Winston Churchill. And if I spell his name wrong, I'm very, very sorry, but he's one of my favorite historical figures. And then what we can do is he's going to be the middle section. And what I'm going to do here is I can do a branch. And as you can see, the idea pops up. So I can put up in here, Winston Churchill was an influential figure. And now I can do a few things with this. Okay, I can put in a hyperlink. If I wanted to put in a hyperlink, I just pop this up and I can name it Winston. And then I would put in the URL. I'm just going to use Google. And click OK. And that little paper clip comes up. And you can see when I scroll over it that the little Winston pops up. And if I click on it, it's going to take me right away to Google. It does use Internet Explorer. That's just kind of the way it's put up. And now I can also put from that, if I have this highlighted, I can do a sub-branch, which is attaching to this. And here I'm going to put in my analysis. or if I wrote a paper or something along those lines. And what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to attach that paper. So making sure that this box is highlighted, I'm going to go up here and put in an attachment. And I'm going to just pick something random out of my H drive, and here's one, the scientific method. It doesn't go with the theme, I understand that. I'm just showing how we can do this. And if we scroll over the clip yet again, we can click on scientific method. And Word opens, and here is my document that I've already done. There's also lots of different things you can do with this. I can go back here, and I can add a branch from Winston Churchill again. Control Z undoes that. I can add another sub-branch, so I can have more than one thing coming out from here. Let's see here. So now you can see, if I go back to Winston Churchill, what I can do is I can put in a branch picture. And I can go into my social studies, and I can find a picture of Winston Churchill that is actually Winston Churchill. And it'll be included with my main branch here. I can also put in, if I go up to insert, I can also put in a floating picture. I'll use this one. So this one's just sort of floating anywhere you want it to be, and you can pull it up here. You can make it large. Sorry, moving the mouse a little fast there. Put it over here, wherever you really want it to be. You can also do the same thing with a floating comment, which means you're putting it anywhere you wish. And this is a really cool thing. You can do the branch connection. What you do is you click on it. It's a little tricky. You go over here and you make sure it's highlighted to the Winston Churchill, and I'm actually going to attach Winston over to my analysis. And you can see the arrow comes over. And I could also do it the opposite. If I wanted to connect my analysis over to Winston Churchill, I could do that as well. It just sort of depends upon how you want to do it. Now, the most important thing, and then over here, sorry, if you go into design, you can change the template, change how it looks. And that's always, of course, going to be the last thing that you'll want to do. But the most important thing with MindView is you have to have your students have a single folder for all of their attachments. With hyperlinks, it doesn't matter so much because it just takes you exactly to where it wants to go. But for Word documents or PowerPoint slides, anything like that that you're attaching into MindView, they all have to be in the same folder, in the same location, and they have to be what is called in MindView packed. This will allow the student to transfer that entire folder over into your G drive so that you can actually see it. And if you're a student listening to this, it's the same thing. In order for your teacher to see everything, it has to be in the same folder, and that folder must be packed. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to go into your H drive, as I have already done. I have it in instruction sheets here. You'll want it in your My Documents. You see I've completed this folder. So if I open up this one, oh, that's not a good example. If I open up the Social Studies one, you can see I have my MindView ideas, and then there's my document that I've attached to my thing, and I also have my picture. So everything has to be in this folder. I really cannot highlight that enough. Then you go back to MindView once you have everything in the same folder, and you go up to prepare, and then you would want to hit pack. After you hit pack, it's going to ask you, yes, do you want to do this? You're going to tell it yes, absolutely, pack. You would save it in your folder, and it would be packed and ready for you. It tells you your map has been successfully packed, and you're good to go. Now, at some point it will prompt you to unpack your documents. Tell it no, absolutely not. Always keep your folder packed. Even if you add to it, even if you change things, make sure it is packed. Okay? If it is not packed, when you go to drag this folder into your teacher's inbox, then it will not go. Okay? You must have things packed. So now I invite you to go and look at some of the templates that I have set up for you. For example, I'm going to go ahead and go to Science and Weather and Climate. And this is an example of what a finished project might look like. You know, you've got your center here, you have the ecosystems, hazardous weathers, and you can scroll through and you can see there's lots of different ideas going on here, lots of different notes that you can add in. You can add in a note instead of putting in a document if you wanted to do that as well. There's lots of different ways you can use MindView. And MindView has really, really kind of cool applications. Like for example, let me go. Here's a flow chart that I actually made this one for math, so this is a good example too. You can use this in all different kinds of disciplines. And it's actually really fun. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to raise your hand, and I'd love to show you all the different features. But those are the main features, and I have already talked quite a bit about it. So please play with this a little bit and see what MindView can do for you. Thanks so much.